Well, my name's James O'Neill, doing this video from Cornwall, United Kingdom. On my way to work. I've just lost that urge to do it at home. You know, come home from work and I just sit there. You know, I'll go on the computer and I'll look at a few things. And but I've just lost that urge, going through a phase. But I'm getting more pleasure out of doing it coming to work. So yeah, go with the flow. There we go. Ferry, all lit up, ready to go. Right, what am I going to talk about this morning? Well, education really. And it's the end of the school year, we've had the exams. And we don't really know what goes on. Because how did kids get an education last year? You know, how did they manage to get an education last year? And yet they've been told they've got like all these A-levels and GCEs and stuff. And TV were there, newspapers were there. Kids opened the papers in front of them, yeah, jumping. And they always go for the attractive girls, don't they? Year in, year out. Nope, they go for the attractive girls, and the girls dress up. Well, that's girls anyway, isn't it, at that age? Then they're all there together, arms around each other, whatever. And they've got these A-levels. And you get a few boys in. Few, should I say, of the gentler boys. They're there with the girls. Yeah, I got my GCEs, A+. And then you get the analysis, and you've got people saying, yeah, they've boosted him, it's unfair. And then you get down to the nitty gritty, fucking boys are falling farther behind. But now this year we've got that complication of Black Lives Matter, black boys are falling behind. Well, yeah, black boys have lots of pressure in London and other places. They have an image, and I don't mean we have an image of them having an image. The way the world is now, it's not about getting an education so you can go get a job that'll make you money. With a lot of young men in life, you can make money and push your education aside because you can do drugs. Do drugs, push drugs, make a lot of money out of doing drugs. And it's been glamorised by Hollywood. You know? It has been glamorised. Weekend just gone. Is it 84 people shot in Chicago? In the weekend? That was about drugs. That was about control of the drugs empires. A policewoman was shot dead. A policeman who was with her was shot in the head. He's critical in hospital. Mayor Lightfoot, who has just done nothing but push defunding the police and has screamed about white supremacy and white elitism. She's gone to the hospital to show her solidarity with the police, and the police blocked her and wouldn't let her in. She got up to the 7th floor, and then they basically blocked her and wouldn't let her have access. You know, because she brought all the publicity machine with her, so they could take pictures, so she could say a few words. And they turned the back on her, blocked her getting access to the room. And the family, they fully supported it, and they told Mayor Lightfoot to go away. Don't want you here. So Chicago's in a fucking mess. But it's the young people that are paying the price. Young people are like the foot soldiers that are dying on the street. I think there was 4 people shot dead as well. So 80 odd people shot in Chicago. Now we have a similar situation here but not with guns, where the young have all this pressure on them. They go to sleep at night with that pressure, and they wake up in the morning with that pressure. And do they go for the education, or do they go for the money and the lifestyle? And sometimes it's just easier to go with the flow and do that. So that's one thing aside. But I'm going to give a link to a guy who talks about Connecticut. And he basically says Connecticut is a communist state. And then he rattles off all this information and names of people and organisations within Connecticut. And Connecticut has been turned into a communist state. Communist state. It's gone on for decades. And it's families, dynasties. And a lot of them have the same similar name, Jewish names. And you go, oh, anti-Jewish. Well, not really. Because the Russian Politburo, when it was established, you had the first revolution, Kerensky overthrew the Tsar, made the Tsar prisoners, but then decided to carry on fighting the war. Didn't go well. So then the Bolsheviks plotted, because they wanted total power. And then the Bolsheviks took power in the second revolution, overthrew the socialist. And then you had a Politburo, and I think it was 19 out of the 22 of the Politburo were Jewish. All Jewish. But not of the religion, because their religion was communism. And they had the opinion that they were the authoritative word on how people should live. Just like all those people in power in Connecticut. They pass laws, and then they enforce them laws, and then they went about killing 40 million of the middle class. Because the middle class have to go. And I've always said this, it's the middle class that are going to suffer in what's coming. Because they're going to lose things. Whereas the poor are just going to get poorer. You know, you were poor on Monday. People pass laws that make us poorer. And you wake up Tuesday and you're still poor. Now the middle class, they go to sleep on a Monday, this law's been enacted. They wake up Tuesday and they're paying tax on their material possessions, and then they can't pay that tax, and then that material possession is taken from them, and then they descend into the poor, which they dread, because they've been programmed to dread the poor. And the poor quite justify being dreaded. You can tell that by the actions of the weekend in Chicago. That's not the middle class shooting each other. That's the aspirational poor trying their best to get out of Southside Chicago, wherever they are in Chicago. They are aspirational. It's like the BLM leader. What did she do? As soon as all the chaos, the job was done, Trump was out, she starts buying houses, and she buys a house in a neighbourhood where it's only 8% black, and it's like 88% white, and they've got a police force, an active police force, to keep the poor people out, to keep the poor people from coming in and robbing the stuff. That woman who headed BLM, she was aspirational, but she had a job to do, just like all those people in power in Connecticut have. They've got a job to do. And we have these people, and it's in this country as well, we can see it now, we have these people who push pens. They push pen, and it says in the Bible, the pen is mightier than the sword. The pen writes a law, and then that law becomes legal through the system that they control, and then they send out their Roman guards, their Praetorian guard, to brutalise the people so that the people accept that law. And that's what we've seen with the police. Now I'm going to put a video below. I'm going to put the video of the Connecticut mob. As you say, a lot of Jewish names. But then I'm going to put a video of a teacher, a woman teacher, Laura. I forgot her second name, might be Laura Harris. And what she's done is, she's resigned as a teacher because she can't face teaching anymore for this school board. 10 years. And she talks about the training that she has to teach the children. She's been trained, she's been given all the rules, white supremacy, Black Lives Matter, and she has been told that the biggest enemy within the school system is the white Christian female teacher, which she just happens to tick all them boxes. Oh, and also add attractive. And she's been told that they are the enemy, and so there's a brainwashing campaign on her and other teachers that they can form. Now, we're not at this stage like Russia where you can be put in camps, but we can see that coming. You know, a camp doesn't have to be like barbed wire 50 miles out of town. A camp can be the unemployed, where you're going and signing on for your job until you get your jab. All these things. The Jews got persecuted, they had to wear a yellow star. People could soon be wearing a badge that says they've not been vaccinated, so need to be avoided. And maybe they have their own shops, or not shops, but they have somewhere where they can go and collect a box of food. That's not so far off, you know. But anyhow, my point about this teacher is she's very brave. She's given the speech, they cut the microphone off, they didn't allow the public in. When you listen to her speech, she explains it all. It's not democracy. All these people have been voted in, and that's the thing. The Bolsheviks were voted in. They got people around them to vote them as the leaders, and then these people authorised the leaders to go and overthrow Kerensky's socialist government and start murdering all the middle classes. But the military and the police went about rounding up and killing the middle classes. And these people are prepared to destroy the middle classes because it's easier to kill them than it is to retrain them. And that's the problem now. We are so stubborn and we will not be retrained. We will not listen to their arguments. We don't believe them. We don't believe the dancing teachers, dancing nurses, dancing doctors. Something about that stinks, and we will not change our minds. So it's not like 1919 where they can kill us, take us away somewhere to work us to death, starve us to death. No, they've got to do it another way, where they deny us our jobs and then we have no income, therefore food, families break up, children are separated from the parents, and then that way they can be retrained for the future. And these are all from the training manuals of the communists. And it's hard to believe that you have the communists there in America and you have them here, because they fly under a different banner. They've learnt to change the banners. They've got alphabets. But the thing is, with this teacher, she's resigned. Now I'm going to compare America and here. We've had videos of American police in the early days saying they're not prepared to do this, not prepared to do that. They were got rid of very quickly as an example. And then that stops. We're here now at this stage where teachers are seeing what's being done to education. And they're prepared to quit. Because there's quite a few that have quit. But where's the policemen? Where are the videos of police from this country resigning and talking about the truth? Talking about how nobody wears masks around the police station. Where they're laughing to go back after a day of beating up ordinary people who are just protesting for freedom. They want freedom. Or should I say, they don't want what's coming. Because they're intelligent people. They're not stupid. They've worked it out. That we're becoming a communist state. Australia, Melbourne. Communist state. In all but name. So where are the police? And I was reading something last night. And I watched something. Where people are saying we've got to get the police onto our side. They ain't coming to your side. And this is what it amazes me. The police have no intention of coming to the side of the people who think that freedom is being lost. When you go through videos of police doing misdemeanors and police brutalising people, you actually get not physically sick. Sometimes you get physically sick when you see some of the attacks. And eventually you become hardened and you realise nothing's going to change. But their violence against people is a mental illness because of the job they do. Because the wickedness that is out there is affecting their mental health. When 80 odd people get shot in Chicago in the weekend, that affects the mental health of the police. Now this policewoman being shot dead and her partner being shot in the head, that has put pressure on the cops, not just in Chicago but everywhere. And when they put their uniform on in the morning, did he take a drink before they go to work? Did he have a drink while they're at work? Did he take pills? Did he take a bit of cocaine, a bit of speed? And their mental health is collapsing. And I've said this all the time. But then when they go out and beat people up, ordinary people, decent people, not the people who go out shooting people over the weekend, that they're taking it out on them people. So 10 out of 10 to that teacher and 0 for the police. And you won't see them making videos in this country where they resign and they tell the truth. Right, got to go to work.